We're done. Starting 0-2, Mahomes in the offense, looking off track. And wait, what am I saying? See, that's how they get us. They lull us into doubting them, and then they explode. Remember 2023 when they lost 5 of 8 late in the season? Of course they won the Super Bowl. And then in 2024 when all those 11 one-score wins felt like losses until they weren't, and still made it back to the big one. And now since going 0-2, they're 4-1 after that, and Mahomes playing like an MVP again. Same old tricky Chiefs. How are they getting it done this time? Nate Taylor explains.
The Chiefs are hoping to continue a trend that has led them to win 4 of their last 5 games. Led by quarterback Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs have averaged 31.5 points per game in their last 4 games, which has allowed the defense to get plenty of breaks in those games. The biggest example occurred in last week's blowout win over the Las Vegas Raiders, where the Chiefs had 30 first downs, while the Raiders had just 30 offensive plays.
Obviously, it helps us a lot. I just joke around with those guys. Just don't score in 3 minutes and keep the 8-minute, 9-minute drives out there so we're always fresh. But, yeah, man, the scoring points, man, I think it's giving us a lot of juice on offense and defense and also special teams and giving the crowd a little juice too. So we're pumping those guys up, put the ball in the end zone, baby, and we're gonna have good games.
Just having success. You train so hard to go out there and have success on every drive, and whenever you're able to go out there and do that, man, it is something that you're happy about. But at the same time, you have to continue to get better and better. And in this league, defenses adjust and they challenge you to be even better. And so we'll continue to build. I feel like we still have a long ways to go, and we're just kind of hitting our stride. Let's continue to get better and better as the season goes on.
Monday's game against the Commanders will be just the second time this season that Patrick Mahomes has his full collection of receivers, including Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, and Xavier Worthy. The Chiefs are hoping that progress looks like this. Another game where they score 30 points. The offense, which has allowed just a league-low 2 turnovers, has no giveaways in Monday's game, and the defense does its job as being the closer against Commanders' backup quarterback Marcus Mariota.
Let's talk
Kansas
about
City,
the move that
Nate
could make
Taylor,
total sense for
ESPN.
Kansas City right now. One that's flying under the radar, but could quietly make the Chiefs even tougher heading into the heart of this season. I'm talking about Shelby Harris, the Cleveland Browns defensive tackle who might just be the perfect piece to plug into Steve Spagnuolo's defense as Kansas City prepares for another Super Bowl run. Now, here's the situation. The NFL trade deadline is less than 2 weeks away. The Chiefs have been here before. Last year, they made a big mid-season move for DeAndre Hopkins. And while this season's offense has finally found its rhythm again behind Patrick Mahomes, Rashee Rice, and Travis Kelce, there's still one area that could use reinforcement: the interior defensive line. Through 7 games, the Chiefs' defense has recorded 15 sacks, tied for 14th in the NFL. Not bad, but not dominant either. Against the run, Kansas City ranks 15th in total rushing yards allowed and 22nd in yards per carry. That's the kind of inconsistency that could come back to haunt you when the playoffs hit and teams start leaning on power run games to keep the ball away from Mahomes. And then came the blow: the injury to Omar Norman-Lott, which exposed just how thin Kansas City's depth is up front. Suddenly, the Chiefs' defensive tackle rotation looks vulnerable. And that's where Shelby Harris comes in. Let's break down why he makes so much sense. Harris is a veteran, 34 years old, but still playing with the grit and motor of a guy half his age. This year with Cleveland, he's logged almost equal snaps against the run and pass. According to Pro Football Focus, Harris has a 70.5 grade in run defense, ranking among the top third of all defensive tackles in the league. He doesn't need to be flashy. He doesn't need to be a double-digit sack guy. What he does is simple and essential. He plugs gaps, wins leverage, and forces running backs to cut back into traffic where players like Nick Bolton and Leo Chenal can clean up. That's what the Chiefs need right now: stability, toughness, and reliability on early downs. And here's what makes the fit even better. Harris knows the AFC West. He spent 5 seasons with the Denver Broncos from 2017 to 2021. He knows the stadiums, the opponents, the schemes, and the physicality this division demands. He's faced Mahomes. He's battled Justin Herbert. He's lined up against Raiders' offensive lines countless times. This guy knows what it takes to survive in the West, and now he could help the Chiefs dominate it again. Financially, the move is almost a no-brainer. Harris has just a $2 million base salary this season, and he's set to become a free agent in the offseason. That means he's a cheap, low-risk, high-reward rental, exactly the type of acquisition Brett Veach loves to make before the trade deadline. and it likely wouldn't cost Kansas City more than a day 3 draft pick. On Cleveland's side, it makes sense too. The Browns are focused on building for the future. They need draft picks, and they're willing to part ways with veterans who can help contenders right now. That's where Kansas City comes in, a win-win scenario for both teams. Now let's talk fit inside Spagnuolo's system. The Chiefs love versatility up front. Chris Jones slides inside and outside, George Karlaftis and Mike Dana handle the edges, but the key to Spag's defense has always been disruption up the middle. That's how you contain running quarterbacks like Josh Allen, how you force quick throws against Joe Burrow, and how you close out playoff games when everything's on the line. Shelby Harris brings that anchor. He's not here to chase stats. He's here to free up Jones, collapse the pocket, and set a tone. And let's not underestimate what that does to the locker room. You bring in a guy like Harris, a veteran who's been through the grind, who's still hungry for a ring, and it sends a message. It tells the team, we're all in again. It reminds everyone that in Kansas City, every season is Super Bowl or bust. Now picture this. Shelby Harris wearing red and gold, standing beside Chris Jones as Arrowhead erupts. 3rd and short, opposing offense trying to pound it up the middle, and Harris blows it up for no gain. That's the kind of play that wins playoff games in January. That's the kind of toughness that travels deep into February. The Chiefs don't need to overhaul anything. They just need to reinforce their front. And Shelby Harris fits that role perfectly. Experienced, affordable, and battle-tested in the AFC West. Combine that with Mahomes at full strength, Rashee Rice emerging, and a defense already ranked among the top 10 in scoring, and suddenly Kansas City looks like the most complete team in the conference again. So as the trade deadline approaches, this move would make total sense. It's not flashy, it's not headline grabbing, but it's championship smart. The kind of move that doesn't just get you through the regular season, it wins you games when it matters most. In conclusion, adding Shelby Harris could be the quiet upgrade that sets the tone for the next Chiefs Super Bowl run. The foundation is there, the leadership is there, the talent is there. Now it's just about tightening the bolts and finishing the job. And Chiefs Kingdom, I want to hear from you. Would you make this move? Do you think Shelby Harris could be the piece that completes Kansas City's defense? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button if you believe the Chiefs are built for another championship. And don't forget to subscribe right here to Chiefs Kingdom Report for daily updates, trade rumors, and the passionate voice of Chiefs Nation. Because one thing's for sure, the road to the Super Bowl still runs through Kansas City.